All right, good afternoon, friends. Brian here from the Wilson Family Lights. We've got another Halloween Horror Nights 35 dirt for you, as we had a new scare zone that got announced today. That gives us a total of 3 scare zones, 2 horror adventures, I guess they're kind of classifying it as. They're going to do something over at Mel's Diner area with zombies. And then they're going to do something over in the cityscape that's going to be some sort of club. Not a lot of details about it. But today we had downtown Clowntown announced as a scare zone. I'm going to read this exact again so I don't get it wrong. Downtown Clowntown is a new scare zone announced today, July 24th, 2026, for Halloween Horror Nights 35 at Universal Orlando. It takes over the New York area of the park. The official description is the city that never sleeps become a walking nightmare when it's overrun by killer clowns from outer space and Art the Clown. I got a couple of friends who truly would consider that to be the biggest nightmare ever. So, I got my killer clowns from outer space. Psyched about that. Art the Clown, cool. So, it features Art the Clown, returning from last year, and killer clowns from outer space, making their street-level debut. They had a couple of scare zones in the past. I think someone's tipping their elbow in the office doing their copy here. Includes other clowns in various origins and distinct boroughs of clown factions. So it sounds like they're finally getting the hint that the scare zones have kind of been in the toilet, because it seems like they're really making an effort this year to bump the scare zones back up. They announced one. Let's see, what's the name of it specifically? Is the Infernal Carnival of Nightmares, I believe, is the one where it's going to be an ongoing, changing scare zone. So I'm going to go at least 3 times. Typically we go 5 or 6, but sadly they did not offer Fast Pass this year with the multi-day tickets. So unless I'm going to sell one of my kids or a kidney, we're not sure what we're going to do, because it's going to cost us an extra $600 a night roughly to do Fast Pass. Capitalism at its finest. So in theory, if we go 3 or 4 or 5 nights, every night we go through that scare zone is supposed to be different. I don't know if they're going to change the look, or it's going to be the characters, or exactly how they're going to go about doing that. But with this new Clowntown, maybe they should have just named it Clowns in Washington, because that's really what Washington is. And I digressed into politics, I'm sorry. And that other one that I was just discussing, seems like they're really making an effort. I think it's going to be a really good year, because we've got Jack and Oddfellow's house. We've got Sinners. That looks pretty cool. That was a good movie. Stranger Things 5, Final Romp Through Hawkins, thumbs high. And they've got the Stranger Things Lagoon show. That sounds pretty cool too. Hellraiser, it's the number one I'm looking forward to, as I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. I saw the original in the movies, and I've seen all the subsequent movies since. None of them really got the feel of the first movie. When you saw Doug Bradley come out as Pinhead, it was like watching Reagan in The Exorcist for the first time. You're like, what is this? And then years later, I was fortunate enough to meet Doug Bradley at a behind the scenes meeting of a scary carnival that's up in Massachusetts. And he was very much a Brit, very much a nice guy. So that was really cool. We've got The Evil Dead, which is based on the new Evil Dead movie that's currently out. I'm kind of bummed that they're not going back to the Ash days of The Evil Dead, the first two, with Army of Darkness thrown in at the end. That's the Evil Dead that I think of every time someone mentions Evil Dead. I picture Ash. I picture campy horror, chainsaw hand. This is my boomstick. Give me some sugar, baby. That's what I picture. But I'm sure this will be a cool house as well. We've got HR Blood and Guts, which is a kind of a revamp of a house they had years ago. We've got Mainland's Caged Cannibals, Cybergoria, a dystopian future machines forcing immortality. Kind of sounds like something out of Star Trek Next Generation, the Borg. Locutus, that would be cool. Having him run around? That would be really cool. Invasion, the alien abduction. And we have the 10th house is codenamed Chariot, apparently. I don't know how that got leaked, but that's what they've named it so far. Has not been announced, obviously. I was really personally thinking it was going to be an Ozzy Osbourne themed house. And they would have announced it the other day, as it was the 1-year anniversary of the passing of the Prince of Darkness. To my dismay, and as my wife would say, is typical, I was wrong. So, we'll see what happens. So we should have a couple more scare zones and one more house to be announced. I'm going to assume everything's going to drop next week because we're getting into August and the whole thing starts at the end of August. So who knows? Maybe they'll wait until 3 days before to truly announce it, because they already dropped a bombshell on us with this whole Fast Pass thing. But it is what it is. Water under the bridge. At least that's what my wife tells me to think. So that's the latest update. Friday, the 24th of July. We've got 9 houses, the scare zones, the 2 shows, and these 2 fright experiences, they're calling them, I guess. So we'll see what comes out next week. Everybody going this year? What house are you looking forward to the most? As I said, I'm looking forward to Hellraiser. And I'm looking forward to Stranger Things. I think will be a really cool one. And what was the other one that I was talking about that I thought would be neat? The HR Blood and Guts. That's the other one that I think could potentially be the... But these other ones sound amazing as well. I've said it before. I think their original content is typically a better overall experience than their horror franchise-themed houses. House of a Thousand Corpses wasn't a franchise at the time when they did it. And I think that's the number one house. And then Alien versus Predator was another one that was amazing. And then they had an original one that was in a riverboat. And you were it was almost like it was on its side. Absolutely killer. The overall aesthetic of that one really sticks in my mind. And I've been going since Halloween Horror Nights 13. So I got to cram a lot into my old ass brain. And sometimes I'll be smoking a cigar later and go, oh, wait a minute. Now I remember. Or I'll get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I'll be sitting on the toilet going, oh yeah, that's the one. So your mind works strange when you get old. Let me just tell you that. So, all right, we appreciate you checking out all our stuff. We are the Wilson Family Lights. This is another edition of the Halloween Horror Nights 35, The Dirt, where we try to give you as much information as we possibly can about Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, as that's the close one that we go to every year. So if you could check us out on all our socials, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on X. If you really like what's going on, please comment and like. If you really, really like what's going on, you like the information, you think I'm a giant goofball, or whatever it is, I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, as that will help us grow and allow us to give you more content about Halloween Horror Nights, about how to DIY your Halloween experience for your display, or Christmas. We're going to fire up Christmas stuff. Middle of October, we'll start really getting going with that, because we'll have roughly a month at that point to get our Christmas stuff ready. So we'll see what happens. All right, friends. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we will see you in the fall.